Okay, I need to talk about Noam Chomsky. Okay, he is. I mean, he doesn't need an intro. Like, this guy's a pretty big deal. If you're a linguist, if you're an activist, if you just like reading. uh, in my case, I love Noam Chomsky, but he ruined my life. This is how he ruined my life, okay? Um, it's like the Matrix, where, oh, okay, and I bet people say this, but like, it's like, because they use this metaphor for like everything. We get the red pill and the blue pill, and if you take the red pill, you learn the truth, but you can never go back to normal. Like, you can never, like, so like that's what Chomsky is for me, man. Like, he's really like, I feel like he teaches me reality, and he like, and through his lectures and his readings and like, well, in his books, and just like, I can't stop reading him. Like, I really can't. Like, I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, it literally hurts, because he tells you so much about the world. But am I following, like, it's like, it feels like you're almost following like a cult leader. Okay, but like, a cult leader tries to deceive you and all that stuff. But like, what I'm realizing is we're all kind of in a cult, because we're all like kind of deceived, and it might be necessary to keep like order, because if we all thought for ourselves, like, if we didn't have some kind of collective understanding that's like manufactured by the news and advertising, and this need to get married and procreate and go to work, and like all of this stuff that's like supposed to keep us in line, like, maybe we would just explode into total chaos. However, I've broken out of that system, and it sucks because it's lonely. Most people gotta work for a living. Um, I mean, I gotta work for a living. I serve tables right now. Well, I don't have to do that though. Like, that's like extra money. Like, I could like pile. Like, I don't know. I don't even worry. I don't worry about the things that normal people worry about, but I worry about normal people. Okay, and it's because I'm learning like how astray we've been led, and like, I worry for my love. Okay, so like, this is where the problem. This is where Chomsky ruined my life. But like, he, by teaching me all of this like reality, or like what the world is doing to. Okay, like, the way I understand Chomsky is, let's take like manufacturing consent. That's very important. Like, his whole concept of that. You should watch his documentary. There's this documentary on YouTube, Manufacturing Consent. Check it out. But it talks about how, like, we don't live in an authoritarian society, so they need to implement controls on us in other ways, and this is how they manufacture it. So this is how they like get us to like compete in this system. And he's doing this. Damn, I was just watching this talk that he did about like the people who like do the news and stuff like that. Like, they're actually like very wealthy people, and they're making like a lot of money, and like they wear suits to work, and like they're not really trying to like up and change the whole system. Like, they like what they got going on, so they're not gonna fight with people like all the news and stuff that they're saying. They're kind of like in that consensus, and that consensus comes from like what we think is like educated people. But like, do you really think that like you're going to college to get educated? You're going to college to kind of become part of that, like, well, okay. Chomsky's breakdown is, you got 1% of the country that's like calling the shots. They're just making the whole thing. Well, they're the reason we go to war. They're the reason we are in a recession. All of that shit. Like, they kind of control everything, and they're kind of meant to. It's like the founding fathers talked about this. There's gonna be like a tiny group of wealthy people that have to maintain order for everyone. Okay, this is Adam Smith. This is Wealth of Nations, dude. Okay, anyway, that's the 1%. And then 20%, this is like the voting class, managers, educated people, teachers. They have to kind of go with that consensus. The rest of us, 80% of people, doesn't really matter what you do. You just like kind of stay ignorant. And then any decisions kind of made, like, don't worry about any of this stuff. 80%, 20%, 1%, who gives a fuck? Go to work, take care of your kids. Like, go serve tables at Applebee's. Like, go, just like, who cares? Like, just fucking live your life or whatever. Here's some like Sunday night football. Like, just stay entertained. There's a fight this weekend. Have your friends over. Drink some beer. Smoke some pot. Just don't worry. That's 80% of the population, okay? They just want you doing, okay, now 20%, the managers, whatever, this is like news people, kind of wealthy. They're not trying to up and like uproot the whole fucking system. It's people like that. So they go with the narrative. Like they don't like this disorder. They won't get mad. When workers get mad, or if we want to like unionize, or like if something unjust is being done to us, they'll turn it into a debate on the news so that they could go home with more money. It's kind of like fucked up. They're using like, and those are us. We're all God's children, man. But like those 20% of people, they're just like working class people that kind of got corrupted. Okay, through the education system, through college. Anyway, listen to me. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, like now that I'm like seeing all of this, like, and it's not a conspiracy. It makes total sense. Like, it makes complete sense what's happening. Okay, like Chomsky's manufacturing consent means that our consent's being manufactured. Okay, like I'm kind of breaking out of that. Like, yeah, I still serve tables at Chili's. I still show up to work on time. I'm still playing the capitalism game, baby. But anyway, like I see the reality, and when people talk about like how much, okay, this is where Chomsky ruined my life. When people talk about like what they're gonna do this weekend and whatever, I start going into my shit, dude. Like, oh, it's all a distraction. I sound like these flat earthers. Like, in fact, I was thinking about them. I was like, they go down these YouTube wormholes and they're not reading Chomsky. They're reading, like, I don't know what they're reading. I want to know. And like, am I vulnerable to that? Because I get so, dude, I've been reading Chomsky books for like the last 2 weeks. It's getting dark, man. Like all of this stuff that he talks, like, I mean, like the more that, like, I feel like I'm learning, like my brain is growing, and I feel like I'm growing from it. Like, I feel like I'm grasping, like, key concepts about life that, like, I never understood when I was younger and naive. And, like, I really do feel like he's trying to teach us the truth. And he's trying to help humanity. And he's a good person, like, with good intents. And all he's trying to do is, like, make the world a better place. He's almost 100 years old. And this motherfucker's still doing podcasts, still doing interviews. Like, he's a fucking hero of mine. I fucking love him, okay? But like, am I vulnerable to like getting like caught up and like following people, like to the point where like it's almost like, I mean, is this how people like get caught up in the cults? Like, they're like, hey, like this religious leader or whoever is just speaking so much truth, and it's like it applies so much to me. I think I'm just gonna like follow him or whatever. Well, do I have like cult tendencies? Do I have tendencies to like follow things like that? Like could I easily become a flat earther if I like go down this YouTube wormhole? In fact, I was talking to a flat earther at the hot springs the other day, and he was making a lot of sense, dude. Like, well, the stuff he was saying, I don't really go with the whole flat earth thing, but like a lot of the things, like he was spouting a lot of conspiracies, and I'm gonna say, I'll go on the record saying like half of them were correct. Like half of them comes from actually like, in fact, I wonder if that's what's happening. Like, we're actually starting to find truths, so I think we're getting bombarded with a bunch of conspiracy theories, and well, distractions, because that's what they do. That's what they're, okay, that, like, something happened with the internet. I feel like it used to be, like, a tool of the people. Think about, like, early 2000s or whatever, when you'd be on, just AOL, just talking to, like, randos or whatever. Like, that could have happened. It was kind of unpoliced. We didn't know what to do with it. But the internet's kind of, like, landed in the hands of power, and they use it to advertise to us. First of all, because they got to make their money. And then they use it to basically like control our brains and tell us what we need and all of that. This is all that Chomsky stuff. But how am I going to meet someone? Because people have to believe fairy tales. It's like Chomsky ruined my life because now I see the truth. But people need fairy tales. They want to believe in Santa Claus because they want to celebrate Christmas. And Christmas is fun, and there's a bunch of lights and a bunch of like food that's bad for you, and you get to see all your family, you know? Like, it's cool you get to see all your family and all of that, but like, dude, you realize like we're celebrating a fictitious giant elf and we're lying to our kids saying that that's real. You know, like, look at me. I'm ruining Christmas. I'm being a Grinch. But Christmas is such a control mechanism that, like, going against it, people have a name to call you. Like, they'll call you a Grinch. So here I am telling everybody that Santa Claus isn't real, and now I have no friends because of Noam Chomsky, and I can't stop reading him. I'm at a point where I'm sitting, I don't work today, so I'm like, I'm gonna read some Chomsky, and it's gonna hurt because I'm gonna go deeper into this, but I love it. I feel like I'm growing. Like, I feel like my brain is growing. Like, I feel like I am gaining knowledge and truth, and I'm leaving everyone else in the dust believing in Santa Claus. Thank you, Noam Chomsky, for ruining my life.